This video is intended to give you a brief introduction to the idea of strategic management, including key definitions and an overview of what strategy involves. We first want to start with defining what we mean by strategy. There are many definitions out there, so I will focus on defining a few ones that really fit what we'll be talking about in this course. The first one is by a textbook from Walker and Madsen. They define strategy as where a business is positioned and how it manages to compete within that position. The focus of their definition is about how the firm defines their position within an industry and how they're going to protect that position and achieve competitive advantage. The second definition is by a different textbook by Rothermel, and this focuses more on the objectives that a strategy is trying to pursue. So a strategy, according to Rothermel, is the means by which an organization achieves its objectives. And for the purposes of this course, we're going to assume that that objective is superior financial performance, as that objective is fairly common among businesses, particularly publicly traded companies. It's worth noting that both of these definitions focus on a pattern of decisions by the company. So the strategy, whether we talk about it as a position or as the means to achieve an end, it's through a pattern of decisions by the company to achieve those. And so strategy is that consistent pattern. In this course, we're going to focus on two different types of strategy. The first one, how to compete, talks about competing within an industry by creating competitive advantage. So how does the firm choose to compete and win their industry and create superior financial performance within a single industry? The second definition, where to compete, is more focused on corporate strategy, and it's which industries should the firm compete in, and it's a broader type of strategy that exists in large multi-divisional or multi-business firms. Now that we have some basic working definitions of strategy, we want to focus a little bit more about the finer details. This is drawn from an article by Michael Porter, and the key point here is that strategy is not about operations. Strategy, according to Porter, is not operational effectiveness. Operational effectiveness focuses on performing particular activities really well and becoming as efficient as possible. And if all firms focus only on operational effectiveness, they tend to behave similar to each other, and as a result, they all look the same, and there's really no benefit as they all try and destroy each other. And similarity across rivals means that to the customer, all firms look the same. Instead, on the left-hand side, Porter describes strategy as choosing a position that will improve performance by performing either different activities than your rivals, or performing the same activities of your rivals but in different ways. And this leads to being different from your rivals and providing customers with a source of uniqueness that will make them want to choose your company over your rivals. Delving a little bit further into Porter's article, he talks about strategy as creating a unique and valuable position within an industry. In order to do that, a firm must deliberately choose a set of activities that set it apart from its rivals to create a unique mix of value. In doing so, this choice of what activities to pursue and how to pursue them involves trade-offs. The firm must eventually decide what they are going to do and what they're not going to do. The outcome, if done correctly, is a tailored system of activities that fit that position. So all the firm is pointing towards one position, and the activities that are completed within the various parts of the firm are consistent with that position and reinforce each other. And hopefully, if done correctly, this will lead to competitive advantage. Again, going a little bit further here, Porter talks about two basic strategic positions. Firms can either choose to do something different by pursuing a cost advantage, where they pursue or they perform their activities in a more efficient manner, or they pursue a differentiation advantage, which is they perform different activities or activities in different ways which separate them and provide a unique value to the customer that the customer is willing to pay for. We'll delve into this in more detail, but wanted to provide you an overview of where this positioning comes from when we talk about providing a unique position within an industry. Porter goes on to identify that there are various sources of this position. So one, the firm could choose a different variety, for example, focus on a particular subset of product or services. Two, the firm could focus on meeting particular needs of customers and ignoring other needs or choosing not to serve other needs. And then finally, it could be a question of access. They may choose a business model that targets a customer segment that is reached in specific ways, again, providing a unique position in the market by providing a unique way to connect to the customer. This slide is intended to present a little bit further detail on what we mean by competitive position or position within an industry. And an easy way to think about it is answering three particular questions. First, who is the target customer the firm is focusing on? So you want to define the target customer looking at particular characteristics of a segment. Second, what customer need or value proposition is the firm providing? And how is that unique from the competition? And then third, the question is how? What is the delivery method for the product and service in terms of a revenue model or cost structure? And what are the key talent or resources that are required and maybe possible constraints or partners required? The idea is the answer to the combination of these three questions should provide you with a unique proposition to the customers that provides a unique competitive position, and if done correctly, either pursues a cost advantage or a differentiation advantage, as Porter discussed on the previous slide. So the takeaway from this brief introduction is that understanding what strategy is, it focuses on a position within an industry and how the firm is going to use that position to compete and hopefully achieve competitive advantage. The key is identifying a unique position in the market that is unique to the firm's customers and provides a source of distinction that gives the customers a reason to choose your firm over its rival. In order to make that happen, the activities within an organization, things such as R&D, operations, marketing and sales, all have to be designed around fitting that position, that message of who, what, and how that you are going after with a particular strategy. In future chapters, we will start to dive deeper into each one of these elements and provide more detail and more examples of how this can be achieved in pursuit of long-term competitive advantage.